welcome to this webinar. My name is Andy Zhang, and I am the Global Product Manager for Collaborative Robots and Easy Programming at ABB Robotics. Today, with my colleague Katja Buterek, who is a very talented collaborative robot application engineer, we will introduce Wizard Easy Programming to you today. Our purpose is to give you the information you need to start using Wizard immediately after today's webinar. Now, make sure you stay until the end to get an example robot station to get started right away. So first, I would like to interact with you by asking you two questions. The first one you already see on the right side under polling. If you don't find it, look on the panel on your right side. In the bottom, there should be something called polling. And the first question is already there, and that is, how many of you already have a collaborative robot today? Please choose one of the multiple choice answers. And the second question is, how skilled are you at programming robots? Now, it's fine if you have never programmed robots before. We just want to get an impression of the audience today, because we are really many hundreds of people who are participating. Okay, so take your time. The poll will be open for a few minutes more. So on the right side to answer both of these questions. Now, let me talk a little bit about what collaborative robots are. Some of you might be familiar already because there is really a lot of attention, articles, information in the market about it. So what are collaborative robots? Basically, they are robots designed with additional safety functions, which enable them to move out of their cages to work closely with humans. Now, they typically have a safe and ergonomic design with rounded edges, safety padding, and no pinch points. They're also generally smaller and lighter in weight, which contributes to their safety and increased flexibility when it comes to installation. They have features built in, such as lead-through programming and Wizard Easy Programming that we will talk about today, which make them easier to use for people that are not robotics professionals. And all these features together leads to new usage scenarios, which enable automation of more tasks. And that leads to increased productivity for all of you guys, so cobot users. I'm going to change the page. I think there's a slight lag in the network. Go back, yes. So from ABB Robotics, we have developed the best-in-class collaborative robots for low payload applications. The single-arm YuMi is a perfect get-started collaborative robot if you're using cobots for the first time. Because of its best-in-class safety design, the integrated smart gripper with servo fingers, embedded vision, and even vacuum, so you can get started with your first collaborative robot application right away, and especially now with Wizard Easy Programming. The dual-arm YuMi is a unique two-arm solution with the controller embedded inside the robot body. So it is an ultra-compact assembly station in itself. So if you have low payload, small components in your workshop, the YuMi family is the safest and best collaborative robot on the market. Now, let's take a look at Wizard. So what is Wizard? Wizard is a graphical, easy programming interface that enables you to create a robot program within minutes without requiring any special training, so that you can start using your robot immediately. It is based on Google's Blockly user interface. So many of you might already recognize the blocks. So the interface is extremely intuitive to use. You can use drag and drop, but you are still able to create very powerful robot programs. And this means that people without robot programming knowledge can still use robots. And the best part is that it is compatible with ABB's rapid robot programming language, meaning if in your company you have a novice user, he can create a program, a robot program using Wizard. And you might have an expert robot programmer who can see the same program in rapid code and modify or add to it. Now, Katya will show this later. So this way, you always have the flexibility of using either the Wizard interface or rapid code to create your robot program. Now, I want to show a video of what you can do with Wizard. So this is the PCB components assembly program using Wizard. So you can see that single arm YuMi is picking and placing a component and mounting it onto the PCB board. Now this is going very fast. You're not supposed to see the details, but just to give you an idea of how it works, to really use drag and drop of some commands to put together this pick and place real assembly application using Wizard. So the single arm YuMi is capable of high precision tasks such as PCB component assembly. So the Wizard Easy Programming is a perfect companion for single arm YuMi. And this is why we're launching Wizard now first with single arm YuMi. But of course, in the future, Wizard will be launched for other ABB robots and collaborative robots as well. And also, since we have launched Wizard in the market recently, we have already received really great media and market response so far. So these are just a selection of the many articles that has been written about it. So really, there is no reason for you not to start today. Now, I'm going to hand over to Katya, who will show you exactly how it works and what you need to do to start using Wizard today. Over to you, Katya.
Thank you, Andy, and a warm welcome from my side as well. So I'm looking forward to show you how you can use Wizard right away. And we are still waiting for the results of the question, how skilled are you at programming robots? So I'm curious to see who will use Wizard really for the first time to get started with robot programming. Let's imagine an application, and we ask the question, who can program this today? So here we have an application where we have remote controls, and the YuMi is testing the button of the remote control. So we have the peter in the back where we get the remote control. The YuMi will take it to the test position, will test it, and depending if the remote control is okay or not okay, it will take it to the right or to the left box. So in the past, a robot program was looking like this. So expert has been able to program this with Rapid, but for a novice user, this is looking not very easy. Today, with Wizard, everybody can program it. So this is how the same program looks in Wizard. And we will have a deeper look into the features now. If we look at the surface, you see the Wizard interface Andy described before. So it's a block-based graphical programming interface. You have the start always on the top, and then you add the blocks depending on what you want to program, and you can select the parameters. If you buy a single arm YuMi now, Wizard will already be pre-installed, so you can start right away. If you don't have a real robot yet, I have good news, you can also start right away. So here are the 3 steps to get your virtual single arm YuMi. And if Wizard is not installed on your single arm YuMi yet, you can also follow this first step. So first step is to install the software on your PC. So you go to the ABB Robotics homepage, download Robot Studio, install Robot Studio. You open it and go to add-ins. You select Robotware, and you also download or add the latest Robotware. So just select it, press Add, and wait until it's installed. Then you will get the question if you also want to install the FlexPennant app. Please click yes, because this is necessary. And after we install the FlexPennant app, the last step is that we also need to add Wizard to Robot Studio. So if we select Robotware add-in, go to Wizard, and also select the latest version and add it. If you have a real robot, you also should do this step and you want to add Wizard, then you can also find the next step on the help and add-ins documentation, how to go on to install it on your real robot. Second step is for the virtual single arm YuMi, you should get the Robot Studio license. So you go in Robot Studio to Options and select the licensing. And then you say Activation. I want to request a trial license. And the great news is, at the moment, we have a great offer. So if you get this Robot Studio special offer 2020, it's valid until end of this year. So I recommend download it and get the trial version now. Last step then is go to the Wizard homepage, and I recommend to get started with our pre-packed YuMi station. So here you can see on the right, on the software, on the Wizard homepage, you can find the station. Just download it and double-click it. And then you will get a few questions where to install it. Just follow through. And then you have basically your virtual single-arm YuMi ready. And if you want to get the station, which I will show you today, you will get the email address at the very end. Just send us an email, and you can also get this station to start with. Then you open for your virtual robot the FlexPennant. And then you have basically also the control as we have it for the real robot. How do we get started with programming now? So our robot is in a first start position. So the first thing we do is, okay, the first move shall always be, I want to move to this position. So we open the FlexPennant or take the FlexPennant. We open Wizard. You see a help menu also on the top right. And we insert our first move instruction. Just click on Move. Drag it into the area, say, I want to insert my first location. We name it location 1 at the moment, that's fine. And you're already programmed to move to the home position. How do you move your robot to the next position now? So on the top right, you can see in Robot Studio, you can basically move your robot directly, or you can see in the picture underneath the real robot you just grab and move it to the next position. Then there's a more special instruction for move. Sometimes you want to move in a straight line. So how do we do this? We also select Move, insert the Move in a straight line block. Now we first move the robot to the next position. So here, for example, for the remote control, we really want to move the robot straight along the conveyor. So we move the robot to the next position. We already see how it should move later on. And we insert the next location. In the real robot, you would just move to the next position. We save it as location 4. And you program even a straight move. How do you start your program now? So for a real robot, you can just press Start. Very easy, everything is saved, and your robot is running. For the virtual thing, we do it a little bit different. So you press Apply on the top middle, and then you go to the Simulation tab and press Start in the simulation, because You also want to simulate your station around the robot. So, for example, the feeder or the external component. And now we see the robot is moving, taking the first remote. Of course, it's not there. That's how it would be in real life. So you test and push it to the box. So you have created your first program. What else do we need to insert now? So we see the robot is moving now. Great. But we don't have a part yet. So how do we get the next part? We need to communicate with our feeder. So here, for example, we insert a signal, send pulse on a signal. So if we pulse this custom signal digital output 0, we will get a new part. And we also want to make sure that it's in the right position. So for example, you have a sensor sending a signal then. So we insert a wait until digital signal custom digital input 0 is true. So if we start it now, we say, oh, we got a new part from our feeder because we communicated with the feeder, and run our program again. What's next? We want to repeat, for example, our task. We not just want to do it once. So we insert the loop block. Just drag and drop your prepared code inside and say we want to repeat it 3 times. In the virtual station, we press apply, go to simulation, and we see it's repeating 1, 2, and 3 times. Sometimes you want to add some more logic to your program. So for example, we want to decide if the remote control is okay or not okay. And in our case, we will get a direct signal when the YuMi is pressing the remote control. We get the information it's okay or not okay. So how do we insert this in our code? So we select logic, say if, then do. Insert it before the movement to the right box. And we say if the remote control is okay, then we move to the right. So we insert the signal, custom signal digital input 1. So if this signal is okay, then we will move the remote control to the right side. And we also want to insert something, what else? So if you click on this little gear, you can add the else. And now you can also insert some move instructions, so what to do else in case the remote control is not okay. So this is the case okay, and else I already inserted the move instruction, so we push it to the left. Sometimes you want to repeat the same task more than one time. And this is the way how you do it. So for example, here we see the test movement, so really just pushing the button. And we want to repeat it. So we add a procedure and say this movement, so just go down and up, we move into this new procedure. And this procedure is called do something. We also could rename it. And then we just need to insert this routine, do something, in our code. So now we see there's a do something. You insert it at the position where we remove the move blocks. And now you can insert it a lot more times wherever you need it. So for example, in our case, we do the test movement a second time in case the remote control is not okay. Just test a second time. Here, remote control is not okay. Okay, we do it a second time. Well done. On top of what we've seen in this application, there are some more blocks in Wizard. So for example, a pick and a place, a pickup from a tray or a place on a tray. And it's very easy again. So you just insert, for example, a pickup of an object, you select if you want to grip inward or outward. Bring the robot to the first position and say, this is the first location where you want to pick the object, and it's done. And then there's a great feature, the little arrow on the right. So if you click on this, you can select some error handling. And this is very important. Because if in your program, maybe the pick is disturbed or not working because no part is there, you want to handle this error. And here you have the great opportunity that you can say, for example, wait and retry or pause. So there's some prepared error handling already included. So you can really create a fully working program. Andy already mentioned that there's also the possibility for some expert code. So as you can see on the left, if an expert is giving you some special code, maybe specialized for your application, and just insert it in your code, then you will see also on the blocks on the right side. So we see do expert code wait time 1 in this case. So what we see is basically we have the full round tripping between rapid in the back and the blocks in the front. And if you even want to add more, not just, for example, one line of code, you could also do it. For the expert, you can create whole stuff in the back and basically give the opportunity to the V's user and say they can call this routine. So for example, we created a My Expert routine where there's a lot of stuff inside. And you just insert it and say, call My Expert routine. And then your robot is also doing this expert code. And with this, I will hand over back to Andy for a little wrap up.
Great. Thank you, Katja, for that very nice introduction. I hope you guys all got a very good introduction to how Wizard works and feel that you're ready to get started immediately after this webinar to start using it. So let's see if I can flip the page. Okay. So as Katja already mentioned, how do you go about getting Wizard? So in the first release now, Wizard supports the single-arm YuMi collaborative robot. So if you buy a single-arm YuMi now, or since April 1st, Wizard will be already integrated into the flex pendant of your robot. So you just need to turn on your robot and see if the Wizard icon is there. If you bought a single-arm YuMi before this and it's not pre-installed, don't worry. You can install it yourself through a Robot Studio add-in. If you go to the Wizard product page, you will see how-to video, very short one on how to do this. And when it comes to cost, there is no additional cost for Wizard. It is part of ABB's collaborative robot feature. So we're offering this free of charge. And of course, if you have a virtual robot, you can also, or if you don't have a physical robot, you can also use Wizard in a virtual robot through Robot Studio. Oops. And now we have another question for our participants. And this is, so Katja showed an example application today of a very simple inspection or quality inspection application. What other application examples do you want to see in the future? This way we can share on the Wizard product page and also through our user forum. So this is a free text question. Applications or other wishes from your side, on the right side under the poll section, please enter your answer. This will help us produce more relevant material in the future. And while writing that, I would like to introduce a bonus feature. And this is that we would like to really encourage you to try using Wizard on a virtual single-arm YuMi if you don't already have a robot. And Robot Studio now is offering a free license until end of 2020. So this is really a special offer from ABB because we know many people are at home right now, and it's a perfect chance to practice using your virtual robots. So what you can do actually is create a robot simulation or your own robot program, create it as a simulation in Robot Studio, and we offer this really great and simple way to export your Robot Studio simulation as a GLB file, and you can open it using a augmented reality app in your smartphone. So for example, the video you see in the picture here, this is a hologram YuMi station in my living room. So you can do the same. We have a how to do AR video on the Wizard webpage as well. So please go have a look. And once you created a video like this, please post it on social media using this hashtag, YuMi Wizard Challenge. So please post it on Instagram, for example. We will be looking for this hashtag. And in the future, we can even run a competition where the best video can win. So please upload your videos, share with us. We want to see what you do, whether it's serious application videos or fun videos under this YuMi Wizard Challenge hashtag. Now, lastly, to really wrap it up. So Wizard Easy Programming, what is the benefit for you? It's a graphical, easy programming interface that enables really anyone to use robots. And safety and ease of use are the two most important features of collaborative robots. So with Wizard Easy Programming and Single Arm YuMi, you get the best of both worlds. And as mentioned, in the future, ABB will expand Wizard to support more robots from ABB, so stay tuned. And now, how you can reach us if you have questions or comments. So there is a public discussion forum on all topics Robot Studio, and you can see the link here. It's forums.robotstudio.com, and inside you will find a thread for Wizard and a thread for YuMi. So if you have YuMi questions or Wizard questions, feel free to post there. We will answer. And our team, our collaborative robot team, also have a dedicated email address which you can reach us at. It is global-cobot-team@abb.com. So I will leave this page now on the screen while we go into the question and answer session. So Arvid, I hand over to you for the question session.
All right. Thank you both very much for doing a very good job with the presentation. So now it's time for some Q&A. We did have a few questions that came in during the presentation. So now if you do have questions for us, please use the Q&A panel or the chat panel, and we will get to your question. We will see if we make through all of the questions, or if we just, we'll do as many as we have time for. So the first question that came in quite a lot was if this is available for other types of robots, and if not, do we have any timeline for rolling this out for other ABB products?
Yes, so as mentioned, we're launching this first for the single arm YuMi, but for sure there is plan to develop this for, or to have Wizard support other robots from ABB as well. I am not able to make any statement on the timeline at the moment, but stay tuned, it will come.
Great, perfect, thank you. And there are also a few questions on how much time you can save using the Wizard compared to regular robot programming.
I will leave Katja to answer this question because she has been programming robots for a much longer time.
Yes, sir, one more time.
So the question is if you could try to elaborate a little bit about the time saving. If you save a lot of time programming with Wizard compared to, so to say, normal robot programming.
That's a good question. So you definitely save time because if I talk from an expert point of view, then you save the whole time of I need to create modules in the back, I need to insert the first information for tool, for lots of stuff in the back you need to prepare. And then also for the skills you can insert, you have predefined skills with everything included, like error handling, like lots of features. So you don't need to write all this yourself. From a beginner point of view, you save even more time, I would say, because you don't need to learn to do everything in the back. You can really switch on the robot and basically start right away. And to create this program is basically, as you have seen it in the video, really just drag and drop. So it's really, really fast, lots of time saving.
Great, thank you very much. So another question that came in, is the Wizard capable of assisting programming for multiple collaborative robots used in the same area?
Yes, of course, there is no limitation for that, but you do need to program each robot separately.
Great, thank you. So then there was a question about safety. Is there some kind of separate safety commissioning software for these, or is it done through SafeMove?
So if you use SafeMove, I can mention also that we are in the works of a safety tutorial or safety guidelines, because we realize that collaborative robot safety is a big topic and many users, especially new users, have questions about this. So basically how you do with collaborative robot safety is very similar to how you handle conventional robot safety. You need to do a risk assessment, safety risk assessment of your application. And you need to consider the new hazard situation that may occur when you install robots without fences. For example, collision situations, clamping situations, the design of the tool, and also your workpiece if it has sharp edges, etc. So based on the hazards of your application and what mitigation measures you take, you may or may not use SafeMove for that. If you do not use SafeMove, then the mitigation measure could be something else, separation of distance, etc. Or if you use SafeMove, then yes, you do need to use SafeMove to configure that. So Wizard is not intended as a safety configuration software.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. So another question, I know that ABB Studio, I think Robot Studio, can create actual robot programs as graphical programming. So what does the Wizard give me more than graphical programming?
Yes. So I would say the biggest benefit behind is that you have these prepared skills. So if we talk about a skill, it's very, for example, if we have the pick or the pick of a tray, it's really a whole functionality which is behind one block. So for example, if you pick from trays, you need to set up the tray. Where is the first part? Where's the last part? How many stacks do you have? And usually this is a lot of manual work. And you also want to add the error handling. What if the fingers are not closed? What if no part is there? Lots of this stuff. And this is already included in one skill. So this is what is in Wizard and what gives you more, basically.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And there's a question about if Wizard is compatible with Linux or OS X. For expert coding in the Wizard, from your example, which language should it be written in?
So the language will be ABB's Rapid code. That's what we mean with expert code. Rapid is ABB's robot programming language.
So is it, do you know if it's compatible with Linux or OS X, or are there any mobile applications of this program?
At the moment, because the purpose of Wizard is to control an actual robot, and right now, if you have a physical robot, then the intention is that you use Wizard on the flex pendant, which is showing the picture here. So this is connected to the robot controller, and you use this to program your robot. So if you don't use it on a physical robot, then you can use it in Robot Studio, which today is a desktop application. It's not, there is not a mobile version of Robot Studio today. So.
Right, perfect, thank you. So more technical question here, is the Wizard available on the IRC5, the old
at the moment, yes. At the moment, this is not launched. At the moment, Wizard is available for single-arm YuMi on the OmniCore robot, on the OmniCore controller. So at the moment, it does not support dual arm YuMi, unfortunately, but also in the future to come.
So is it possible to run on the old Flex Pendant, or it's just on the new one that's Windows-based?
At the moment, it's on the new one that's Windows-based.
Perfect. Thank you. So another question that came in here early here is, what represents the finger? Is this the tool center point?
Yes, it's a tool center point. So you can, for example, switch between fingers or suction cup 1 and suction cup 2. Because if you buy a single arm YuMi, you will get the hand. So we already know the tool center point. Yes.
So can the position and the orientation link to an unknown value? For example, the position and orientation is determined by vision.
Maybe Andy, you can say something for vision because we had a few more questions there.
About vision. Okay. So at the moment, Wizard, as we launch it today, does not support YuMi's hand vision yet on the Flex Pendant application, but this also is in the works. So we expect the vision support to come out very quickly.
And then the answer is then there will be some error handling included.
And the accuracy? It would be the vision accuracy as the vision in YuMi's gripper. So inside YuMi's grippers, we have a Cognex vision engine, so with quite high accuracy. And I see that people are also asking about the accuracy of the robot itself. So the YuMi family has among the highest accuracy or position repeatability, if that's what you mean, of robots, collaborative robots with 0.02 millimeter. And we also offer absolute accuracy of the robots. So that also provides extremely high accuracy for collaborative robots.
And that's a really great topic because we have this absolute accuracy. Yes, you're also able to basically save a program on your single arm YuMi, and you could copy it to another one.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm reading through the questions here, and there is one that they're using this for a project by learning by demonstration. So the question is if there's an API to interact with a wizard, like creating instructions from a third-party application.
I don't believe we offer, no, we don't offer that today, though there is an API for ABB's web services, which I think sounds suitable to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So please look up, it's a website, web services.
If you search for the developer forum and ABB, then you will also find information for this API.
Yes, exactly. The website is a developer forum, ABB.
And basically here the information, Wizard is also using this API in the back.
Great, perfect. And then there are some questions about importing existing Rapid to Wizard and Wizard to Rapid. So perhaps you could elaborate a little bit on this process?
Yes, so as we have seen in the last slide, basically if you insert some Rapid code into your Wizard code, you will see it and you will get it converted, and also the other way around. So maybe I can just go back to this slide. So
All right, I don't know if you lost Katja. Are you?
It seems like there is some connection problems there.
Yeah. So we'll try to get Katja back, and then we'll do some other questions as we wait for her. So there was a questions about the fingers and equipment. Can this only be used with a standard finger, or can you have customizable tools as well?
Of course, you can have customizable tools. So YuMi's gripper You can buy it with the YuMi, but you don't have to also. You can buy a YuMi without a gripper as well. So we designed the YuMi Smart Gripper to be a very compact, multifunctional gripper. So it has a servo fingers built inside, it has a vision, and it has two vacuum, or the possibility for two vacuum suction cups. So what you can do is, of course, not use a YuMi hand and mount your own tool on the flange as possible. Second option, which is more common, is that people change the finger of YuMi. For example, if you have a 3D printer, you can actually quite easily print your own fingers. So depending on the part you want to grab, it is generally recommended to use customized fingers rather than the fingers that we deliver with YuMi, which are more meant for demo purpose. So we will actually very soon publish a sort of YuMi finger library for people to use, and that you can easily print out using your own 3D printer, and give you some tips on how to do this. So again, I think a lot of these questions on how to use YuMi, if we don't address them today, guys, please go to the Robot Studio forum and the YuMi thread or the Wizard thread and ask them there. We will answer all the questions that you post there. And the benefit also is that then everybody else in the community can also see the answers to these questions, because I would expect YuMi users to encounter similar challenges as you guys.
Yeah. I think that's a very valid point to share your questions with the community. So we're trying to build this as well, so we can help each other. So we do have time for a last few questions here. So one that came in is, what's the scope of instructions in Wizard? And is it the same as in Program Editor? Will it change depending of options installed in the system?
So as Katja mentioned before, so basically, of course, all the rapid functions are supported by ABB's robots. What we try to do with Wizard is really package or wrap the most common functions into blocks. So that's why each block is not one rapid instruction. Each block is more like a mini program, a group of instructions, for example, pick or pick from tray, so that the user doesn't have to do all the grunt work of, preparing the infrastructure, writing the backend code, and can just use this function pick. So from this perspective, we will continue to develop more of these, you can call it skills, for Wizard. But at the same time, anything you want to write in Rapid can be inserted that doesn't already exist as a block. You can insert as expert code today already.
Perfect, thank you. So are there any plans, now I saw that the Wizard was all in English, are there any plans for translations into local languages?
Actually, there is already a Chinese language version available. I need to check the plan for other languages, but yes, I would say yes.
Great, thank you. So we're just about to end here, the time we have scheduled for this webinar. So there are a few questions left. We'll try to get back to you with those. We try to handle them as they came in, and yeah, so we'll try to reconnect with people. But as Andy mentioned, please go to our forums and post your questions there so we can share this with everyone else. So I think that's the end of the webinar. Andy, any final thoughts or words?
Yes, so I want to thank everybody for joining this webinar, and please reach out to us. Please use the hashtag, and please go to the Robot Studio forum. And I also want to mention that we will send out a follow-up email to everyone after this webinar with download link on where you can find the example station that Katja showed today, and also a recording of the webinar, because some of the things that Katja showed I think will be very useful for people who intend to use Wizard, and I really encourage all of you to try out Wizard afterwards, so you can re-watch the videos and try to do this yourself. So
yeah. So final words from me. There was a lot of questions about the recording of this webinar. There were people that are having sound issues that could not join and could not hear anything. We are recording it. It will be shared. So everybody that signed up and participated in this event, you will get a link to a recorded version of this session as well. So with that said, it's time to wrap things up. Thank you all very much for participating, and I hope to see you again in future and upcoming ABB Robotics webinars. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
thank you. Bye-bye.